So the background footage as currently shown is me doing the LR5 test. That's the current max rank in Warframe at the moment. Now, I need to preface this with the fact that this is my own personal journey. I had a very rough start with this game at the very beginning, but some reason I'm glad I went through that because it makes me appreciate the game that much more. First, did I pay? No. Well, not for the first few hundred hours at least. I logged in one day and I got a 50% off coupon, and I figured I would give the devs, some money because I've already put a few hundred hours in and I need to give them something for my token of appreciation because this game is phenomenal. But here's the thing, you don't have to pay a singular penny to enjoy the game. You can do every single thing in the game for absolutely free. I know some people that have, and they're probably think LR3, LR4 or something. They're pretty high up there. They've been playing for many, many years, haven't spent a singular dime on the game. Because here's the thing, there are other ways in order to get the platinum currency in the game without spending a singular dime. Now, my early struggle with the game was the combination of not knowing how the mods work, not knowing how to level them up, not having enough weapon slots because you need a bunch of those, not knowing what quest was next, etc. Especially the simple understanding of not knowing that every single frame in this game have different abilities. Yeah, I know. So my early problem was not having the weapon slots or the frame slots. So going through deleting some weapons that I didn't use, get more of those. So as any brand new person, I had to go through and delete quite a few stuff at the very beginning to make room for new stuff. This was before I got to level 3 in Deimos, which gave me access to the helmet. And that shit already is very, very powerful. So it took me 4 attempts before I finally got hooked on the game. When I first started, I believe it was in New War, where I had this visual bug where I was able to leave the ship. I could explore around, which is now known as, I believe it's the Drifters Camp, all the trees and everything. I had that. I was playing around for about maybe 5 minutes, didn't know what I was doing because there's no hand holding in the game, and I left. I don't remember exactly when this was, but it wasn't until I met a friend of mine through Destiny 2, which I do not play anymore, even though I have over 5,000 hours in that. He helped me understand the correct quest, and he helped me understand the flow of the game. But it wasn't until the quest of Whispers that really got me intrigued and made me want to come back. My buddy sent me that trailer back on January 1st of 2024. Came back, and I found out that you have to complete prior quests. Did not know that part. Now, in terms of quests, there's a lot of new people that start out, or back then, I think, that started out and jumped in with Duviri. Now, I wasn't playing when Duviri was announced or brought in, but I was one of the unlucky few that started out with Duviri. My 3rd attempt, I went in, saw that, I got extremely confused. I think, halfway through it, literally quit the game because I was way too confused, and I understand why there's a lot of people that are saying do not play that because that's more of a later quest, and I understand that. But when it comes to my 4th attempt, this is when I really powered through everything. I finished Duviri, I did all that kind of stuff. I didn't even know the importance of the second dream, but the second dream is what really made me pay attention to the game and really stuck with it. I played that, the outcome of the second dream, for those that know. Yeah, I didn't understand the significance of that. I got confused, but I still powered through it. In terms of the quests that I did get help with, because apparently when these 2 quests came out, they were very time consuming, so to speak, in order to, progress. Those 2 quests that my buddy actually helped fast track for me were Railjack and Necromech. But nowadays, with the recent update, they lend the Necromech, which is really nice. But I didn't realize when these first got introduced, they were an absolute pain in the ass to obtain. Now the question is, how did I get to max rank so quickly? 17 months. So my initial goal was to hit LR1, since the rank most people don't actually achieve, but it wasn't until my buddy hit me with a goal of hitting LR4 before we got Man in the Wall lore. Now I semi-completed it, semi-didn't, because we got some lore with that in 1999, but I mean, that's a whole different story. But my main goal, because every single time you log into the game, you need to make a goal to complete before you get off. That's the most important thing. I literally focused on weapons and frames that I didn't have, circuit, etc. I used some frames as literal fodder and never touched them again, which means you rank them up to level 30, you don't use them again. The most tedious grind though that I went through was the Tenet and Kuva weapons. That's when I started streaming the game back on January 1st of 2025 because I figured I'd start my streaming journey while getting all of those, going through all that pain since they gave free MR. But then that Forma cost so damn much. Oh my lord. And I don't even want to get started on the sheer amount of weapons that are in the game. Hundreds and fucking hundreds. Literally enough to extremely overwhelm somebody for like very quickly. From weapon blueprints in the market to the dojo to random shit that drops from bosses. Still farming that fucking D-Tron. That fucker won't spawn. Now when it comes to frames or weapons, you always hear the saying of once you find something that sticks, it makes the game substantially more fun. And this is extremely fucking true. Personally, I have 4 frames that I enjoy the most out of every single frame in the game, and there's 60. Nova Prime, Wisp Prime, Nyx Prime, and Mirage Prime. I was a Wisp main for about 600 to 700 hours, but then I picked up Nova, learned how she works, got her build going, and now it's very, very difficult to play anything else because she is a dopamine hitting machine. Now I hit MR30 before 1999 dropped, but soon after that, DE announced Tekrot Encore with its release date and the brand new weapons along with the new frame, which means the amount of XP that it gave, it unlocked the new LR rank of LR5. So then I figured, why stop at LR4? Why not go to LR5? So I made that my long-term goal, which is extremely important. You need to make goals every single time you hit something. It wasn't until I hit LR1 that I then learned about farming plat. Things like farming for different rare mods. You level those up all the way, sell those for a decent price. Farming various arcanes to rank them up fully, since some sell between 50 to 100 plat. Selling prime mods, fully maxed along with some archon and galvanized mods. Now some prime mods you can't sell. Some it's situational. But most importantly, the most valuable thing that you can sell for platinum that I did not realize if you have enough Kuva to re-roll these fucking things, and that is rolling ribbons. I've sold a few ribbons, I think maybe 4 or 5, that have exponentially helped me get different weapons that are vaulted from relics, etc. But the thing that really fast-tracked my progress was when I logged in one day and I got a 75% off coupon. And yeah, I took full advantage of that. I used all that plat that I got, traded for so many different weapons that I was not able to get from relics, because sometimes you buy those relics and they just don't drop after many relic cracking runs. And yeah, I just figured, you know what? I'm just gonna buy these things, level them up, all that kind of shit. But that doesn't mean that I didn't have to farm for additional things for those weapons, because there's a lot of prime weapons that require another material called Orkin cells. And now I know that you can buy an Orkin cell blueprint, but that's the only blueprint in the market that I am aware of that costs 100 plat for the actual blueprint. But the materials needed to craft said Orkin cell is so goddamn high that I did not think it was worth doing that. So I spent multiple days farming for those Orkin cells. There was a few days where I would literally spend 3 to 5 hours off stream just farming those fucking things. There was one day where I literally spent 5.5 just farming 300 of those, because you need so many for so many weapons. It's insane. But yeah, other than that, that's how I got to where I am in 17 months. Now there are still a few weapons that I need from like login rewards, from boss kills. I still need to get the sword from Nile, but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. I will see you in the next one.